Hello, 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 YouTube and all my faithful subscribers. I've been making an awful lot of blogs recently, well, as responses to other people's blogs, about just, various unpleasant aspects of the world in which we live, be it violence and hate and all these negative things. I think primarily because when you reach a certain age, and it's that sort of, if this is where you're born, here, and you reach this point here, where it starts to go that way, which is usually around about the 40th birthday, which was in February this year. You tend to look at the world through a different set of eyes. You take stock of your own situation and the situation of others around you. You view things differently. You respect things that you didn't respect before, or maybe it's not the case that I didn't respect them, but I didn't pay as much attention to them and didn't realise how important they actually are or were. Sometimes it's actually quite nice to just focus on the positive things. Maybe a bit narrow-minded to push out the negativity, but if you've been dealing with, I don't know if any of you, well, probably most of you have actually seen the Our World video that I did on the Hate Sponge channel, where it's in two halves. There's the first half, which is all the negative images, the horrifying images, and then it moves into the second half with all the positive and life-affirming images. And I can tell you, when I was making that video, basically it was just a case of the words that flash upon the screen. I used these as the Google search words, and it was draining making that video because I did it in order. I did the hate section first, and then moved on to the love section afterwards. And the images that didn't make it into the video, and also the images that I saw on the computer, were appalling, to say the least. And sitting there viewing these images and choosing which ones to use, and then the images that I did choose, manipulating them or editing them, really did actually take quite a bit out of me. Okay, but let's put it in context here. I'm sitting in front of a computer in the house, probably had a glass of beer or something next to me, so it wasn't exactly like I was being exposed to some of the things that some people are exposed to on a regular daily basis. So let's keep it in context. But in the little sphere of what? In my little sphere of existence, it was quite mentally draining. And then when I moved on to the second part, the love section, with all the images of people smiling and having fun and just being nice to one another. Oh God, he's away. He's off now. That's it. That really did pick me up. So I was quite glad the way that video actually turned out. But what I was actually wanting to talk about today was something that happened to me that basically changed my entire outlook on life. And it was about 5 years ago, maybe, when I lived in my flat. In which case it must be more than that then. Well, anyway, it was a while ago. And I was flicking through, I had cable at that time, and I was flicking through the channels, all 67 of them. Oh, hang on. Sorry, I just sneezed there and I didn't think that it should be something for you to see. I was flicking through the channel. Oh God, I'm going to go again. Excuse me. Right, third time lucky. I was flicking through the channels and I came across a medical program, which is not something that I normally watch. but I think my tongue was getting tired. My thumb was also getting tired. My tongue is getting twisted. And something stayed my thumb when it reached this channel. And it was one of these typical fly-on-the-wall operations, you know. Some poor guy's lying on the table with his insides out, and the surgeon was operating on him. And the guy was getting a liver, no, sorry, it was a kidney. Oh, whichever one between a liver and a kidney that produces urine or deals with the liquid waste. So this guy was getting a kidney, for argument's sake we'll say it was a kidney, please correct me if I'm wrong, but he was getting a kidney transplant. And the surgeon brought across this tray, this silver stainless steel tray with the donor kidney on it. And he said to the camera, he says, I've been doing this for many years. I know the human body inside out, literally. I know how it works and how it doesn't work and its failings and its healing abilities. And he says, but this bit here, this is the bit I don't understand. I don't know what's happening here. I can't give an explanation for it. And he says, now watch this. And he took this kidney and he said, now on this tray I have this donor organ, which is basically dead meat. This is no different from a piece of kidney that you would find in a butcher shop, albeit it's a human kidney, but he says apparently they taste similar to a pig's kidney. He says, so it is totally edible and it's a piece of dead meat. He says, now watch this. He picked up the kidney and he picked up this thing dangling out of this guy. And he touched the two together, and the instant that those two pieces of tissue came together, urine started dripping out the other side of the kidney. He says, look at that. He says, watch. He says, now look, it's just a bit of dead meat again. Because when he pulled them apart, obviously it stopped. He says, look. Touched them together, and it started again. He says, now, I know, or we know, exactly what value of electrical current the human body produces. We know the intensity of its magnetic fields. So if I was to take this and get a machine that could create those exact quantities of electricity and magnetism or whatever, and stick a couple of electrodes in it and fire that through it, nothing would happen. He says, so what in addition to that electrical and magnetic field is going through this? What's turning it from a piece of dead meat into a living, working organ? What is this man producing in addition to those things? And I thought, wow, that's pretty amazing, in a really amazing sort of way. What is this thing that we have? Now, I'm not going to get into any theological or scientific discussions here about exactly what it is, what you want to call it, soul, spirit, life force. But there was a thing passing through it. And I thought, yeah, that's pretty amazing. Because we can't make that, we can't create that. As the guy says, you know, you can get the machine that will produce the exact same levels of electricity and magnetism or whatever, but there is that additional thing, that additional essence going through it. Now we can destroy that, which we do every day on a very large scale, but we can't create it. Now I know what you'll say, obviously, when a woman gets pregnant and creates a baby, that's creating life, but it's not creating, if you like, a new bit of life. What it's doing is it's growing inside the woman, and as it separates, it's taking with it her essence. That's why in a family we can, you know, you can sense things within a family and feel things that you can't without the family, because I am a part of my mum. I've taken her life essence. It's like a cell division, as opposed to a cell here and then all of a sudden, poof, a cell appearing. It's one cell splitting. So it made me reassess every living thing around me. I mean, I suppose you could almost call it a Buddhist attitude. I will no longer, not that I did before, but I can no longer bring myself to kill anything. be it a fly, you know, a pest insect, because it's only a pest because we deem it so, and because it doesn't fit in with our day-to-day lives. I mean, it's just going about its everyday business. The fact that it eats crap and then comes and sits on us, that's just, you know, tough. The way I see that now is that it's just tough on us. So if there's a fly in the room, I'll try and cajole it towards the window and open the window and let it out, because I believe sincerely that I do not have the right to take away something that cannot be created. Granted, when I'm driving down, down the street or wherever, bugs get squashed on the windscreen, and I dare say every time I take Buddy, for his walk in the field, I'm standing on things. But unfortunately, some things are just unavoidable. But I don't certainly set out to actively destroy anything like that. I'll put something out of its misery if I see an insect that's been damaged, or if I've accidentally stood on something but haven't killed it. I will kill it. But believe me, that stays with me for a long time afterwards. And the point I'm actually trying to get here is that the way I now live my life, as you know, I work in a factory, and quite often the guys would look around, look over, and they'll see me in the middle of the floor with a bit of paper doing something on the floor. What are you doing? Oh, it's a beetle or whatever. I'll pick it up and I'll take it and put it outside, and I'll go, oh, okay. To start with, they probably thought I was absolutely nuts, absolutely crazy. And then one day, one of the guys, this big, vast slug of a guy, shouts across to me from where we have our scrap skip, the waste skip, which is a massive, great thing with a platform and stairs that we then dump our scrap metal into. So, can you come over here? Okay. I went across, and this big guy, carrying all his scrap, standing at the bottom of the stairs, going, can you get that? Can you get that? And it was a butterfly sitting on the stairs. Same type, the peacock that I showed that I found in the factory just a couple of weeks back. And that got me thinking that if one person can adopt an attitude, what that will then do is that will spread out, that it'll generate these thoughts in other people, in close proximity. And okay, it's a sign of hope that perhaps we can actually make it. I'm very good at using seeds as metaphors, but it's like what happened in the factory there with that instance, the guy not wanting to go up the steps in case he stood on a butterfly because he knows that I respect life. It's like taking a seed and a huge, vast, empty plain and using this seed to nurture a forest. It's the seed of hope. It's a long way off, but that forest wouldn't exist if this seed wasn't sown. So, perhaps there is hope for the species if enough people adopt the right attitude and spread that around. Have a look at the Free Hugs campaign that's on YouTube just now. That's a brilliant video. I think we can do it. We have it in each and every one of us. We just have to look for it. You need the catalyst that sets it off. Perhaps that's going to be the person standing next to you. Perhaps it's going to be flicking through a TV, and some unseen force, as I say, stayed my thumb over the remote, and I didn't flick. I mean, had I just gone bum 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 and gone on down to an episode of The Simpsons or Friends or something, and never watched that medical program, how different a person I might be today. Who knows? See you later.